Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Football Podcast. Week 6 in the books, so now it's time to talk about the recap of Week 6 and moving on to Week 7 and what's in store for us football fanatics going forward. Pretty weird week overall. Low scoring here and there, just a lot of upsets. Some things that we just definitely need to talk about this past week. So we're going to go ahead and move on. I'm doing this episode solo today. Friday, come back. We'll have a podcast, not a podcast, but a short episode about gambling, what we like, what to stay away from, and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead, jump right into the Week 6 recap. First team we want to talk about today is the Lions and the Buccaneers. Lions defeat the Buccaneers 20-6. Buccaneers coming off a bye week last week, come in, get absolutely throttled by the Lions, only putting up 6 points. Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, and the rest of the Lions, they just show why they are 5-1, why they are now heavily favored to win the division, why I picked them to win the division in the beginning of the year. They're just going out there each and every week, showcasing their talents, taking care of the football, which is the big thing for Jared Goff, and just being able to rely on the defense. They're not too flashy. Love play action play, which is what we'll talk about later with who we're going to watch out for next week, but they live on the play action. Amon-Ra, solid wide receiver one for Jared Goff to go to. But like I said, Lions take care of business 20-6. It was an impressive win. Buccaneers been playing well, coming off a bye week and going on the road and winning. So we'll move on to the next game. Texans defeating the Saints. Now, if Corbin was here, we'd be having a Saints recap, but I only want to talk about a couple things about this game. One is CJ Stroud continuing to showcase his talents another week. Just an all-around good game for CJ Stroud, defeating the Saints, which has an incredible defense. Last week we were talking about how we were going to stay away from the Texans, and we were picking the Saints because of their elite defense going to be able to stop this rookie quarterback. But good defense or not, CJ Stroud comes in, gets it done for him. The Texans are going to be a wagon in a couple years in the AFC South. Teams are definitely going to be looking out for them here soon. Pretty young team. Not a lot of draft capital to build off of, but I think they'll be able to build nicely around CJ Stroud, showcasing that he can be the franchise quarterback. Moving on to the Commanders, they defeat the Falcons 24-16. It's about time. Desmond Ridder is your class act of, I'm going to give you a game to where you believe that I still can showcase you some talent like last week. But in reality, I'm hot ass. Desmond Ridder does not need to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. If the Falcons were going to plan on competing the whole year and not go get a Drake May, Caleb Williams, I guess Shadur Sanders kind of quarterback, they should probably have looked into the market and trading. Still availability to trade or pick up somebody. Not a lot of free agents left on the market, but Carson Wentz definitely better than Desmond Ridder. Another name that they could have traded for, probably looked into getting, Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins would thrive in this offense. Good running game alleviates the pressure off of Kirk to throw the football. Drake London's a solid receiver. Kyle Pitts is an anomaly at tight end. And then you have Bijan Robinson, who's been out there making one-handed grabs and juking people literally out of their jock straps. The only thing I really want to talk about is just how bad Desmond Ridder is. I mean, I know it might be some of it the offense. They rely so heavily on the run game, and if it's not there, it doesn't help him. But if you're going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, you got to be able to go march down the field and put up points, and he just doesn't have that ability. Next game we'll talk about here is going to be the Bills defeating the Giants 14-9. Talk about a London hangover, some would say. I think this just ties into the thing that I've been hammering down this whole year is the Bills are possibly one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL. You never know what you're going to get from them. They should be an absolute wagon, should be putting up points week in and week out with Josh Allen being at quarterback, Stephon Diggs. They don't use Dalton Kincaid, which is very surprising. They went out and got that tight end to help bring in another weapon for Josh Allen and alleviate stress off of Stephon Diggs. Non-existent. I know he didn't play last week, but still, nonetheless, have not been using him at all. This team is just going to be another team, or it's going to be the team that we've seen for the past couple years where they go in, they put up a solid record. Josh Allen has a pretty good year, hovering in that MVP race, and then he is just going to absolutely crumble in the playoffs. They will go into the playoffs and they will lose the first game. Unless they got the greatest draw of a lifetime, they will lose the first game. This is why he has yet to beat Patrick Mahomes. This is why Joe Burrow beats him. This is why teams like the Giants are close. You never know what you're going to get. Whether you say, oh, they're coming back from London. The Jaguars just played 2 weeks in a row in London, come back and fly in and kick my team's ass. And the Bills are supposed to be way better than the Jaguars are supposed to be. And then they go up and put 14 points up. Had the chance to lose on the goal line and almost lose to Tyrod Taylor. The Bills, I'm so out on the Bills. They need to get their heads out of their ass or this is going to be a rough postseason again for Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. It's going to be a very interesting offseason if they don't pull it around, turn it around. Last game we want to talk about is the Ravens defeating the Titans. Just going to reiterate the fact that the Titans are so bad, so old, and they're just not going to get wins this season. Hope Ryan Tannehill's okay. Saw he left the game, but Ryan Tannehill is also not a great quarterback. Then you go in the next 2 years ago, not this or last year, you go and draft Malik Willis on the bench. Then this year, I know you only used a second rounder on, you draft Will Levis. Then you're still starting Ryan Tannehill. And now you have Malik Willis coming in. He did okay. And Will Levis on the bench. That team is just a clusterfuck. Tannehill, Malik Willis, Will Levis. Doesn't seem like any of those three are going to be their franchise quarterback here soon. It's just kind of weird to see because they've been competitors at each and every year. But now you're seeing that slowly decline of Derrick Henry. Got used way too much in these past years. Run. And that big body can not only take so many hits, and we're starting to see it. The Ravens take care of business 24-16 in London. I'm not so impressed with the Ravens either. Congrats. You beat the Titans. The Titans are bad. You're still, offense is a little skeptical still, in my opinion. Not a lot of production out of the skill players. Lamar has to do a lot of the work on his own. But I think that will slowly get better. I mean, Mark Andrews, great. OBJ, solid enough to get the job done. Zay Flowers, up and coming. Rashad Bateman, he's just a roller coaster. But the big thing that's always been for the Ravens, for me, is their inability to use a running back in the run game or the pass game, and they only rely on Lamar's legs and no one else's. So that's something that they need to sort out if they're going to make a solid push in the postseason or going forward in years to come. We'll move on to the Colts recap. Usually is one of my favorite times, one of my favorite parts of the segment where I just get to talk about my team, but it's not so much a good time to talk about them. I was very high on them coming into this week, going into Jacksonville. I thought this is where we're finally going to get a win over Jacksonville on the road. We go in, we do the complete opposite. I mean, I was so high on Minshew. For those few that watch each and every episode or episodes of this podcast, last week I was so in on Minshew. He's going to be our saving grace. He is a top 15 quarterback, believe it or not, and he's a backup. We're going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, revenge game, yada, 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 yada. Goes out and lays an absolute egg. First drive. Great first drive. Wish it would led in 7. If you're going to receive the ball off the opening kickoff, go put up 7. 3's good. I'll take points. It's better than a 3 and out or punt. But after that drive, we never looked the same. We were utilizing the running backs, utilizing the short game. We go get 3. I'm like, all right, let's get a stop, get more points, keep this train going. We go in. They march right down our throats, put up 7. I'm like, all right, Minshew, time to answer. You've been playing good when you've had to relieve Richardson of his duties, and let's go get some more points. Goes down. We decided to take a deep route or an explosive play down the field. Don't have a problem with that at all. Unfortunately, does not work. Very first play of the series, strip sack. Next play, touchdown. There's a couple things, big things I want to talk about this game that are just grinding my gears watching this game. First, after 2 series, we got 3, and then the fumble I was just talking about, never went back to the run game. Run game was non-existent. Never came back to it. When you go out and re-sign Taylor, you have Zach Moss having a career year, and you totally neglect the run game. It's the first quarter or second quarter. You're only down 11. Go do what's going to get you down the field and put up points. Why all of a sudden are we relying on a quarterback's arm when it's not even Anthony Richardson? It's a backup quarterback. Granted, I do want to make note, I just saw this. Minshew was not 33 of 35. He was 33 of 55, 329, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I know you could say, oh, if you take those interceptions away, we were right in at the end of the game. Yeah, but you know how defenses be when they're up 2 scores. It could be 10 points. They're going to sag off, give you everything you want. Don't care. My next thing is I'm sick and tired of watching Gus Bradley at defensive coordinator. Sometimes I praise him, but there's just times where you're sitting there and you're watching Trevor Lawrence or any quarterback this year sit back there, have all day. He could write a fucking novel back there in the pocket all day. Bring the blitz. You don't even have to bring 8. You don't have to bring 7. You don't have to bring 6. Bring at least 1 extra guy every now and then. 1. There was the 3 plays where we brought pressure. A sack, Trevor Lawrence debatably intentional grounding, and a hurried up throw. Kenny Moore, when Eberflus was still our defensive coordinator, made his career off coming off the edge off a blitz, a corner blitz. We get rid of Eberflus. He goes to Chicago. He does a shit job right now. And we bring in Gus Bradley. We don't bring pressure. We let every quarterbacks are too good. The NFL is too revolved around the passing game to let a quarterback sit back there and throw for whatever he wants to throw for. You have 2 corners, 2 rookie corners out there by themselves. When you're giving them all day, yeah, good luck. Good luck, Juju Brents. Bring him. Make the quarterback hurry up, dunk it down. You have veterans in Zaire Franklin, Shaq Leonard in your front 4, and Kenny Moore, who is a good open field tackler. Make them dump it off and make tackles. Stop giving up everything over the middle. I could talk all day, but I'm not going to. That's all I really want to talk about the Colts Jags. Move on to week 7 for the Indianapolis Colts. We do face the Browns. Spadudio. Lucas Oil Stadium. We might be in trouble. Deshaun Watson, PJ Walker, it doesn't matter. If we can't get the run game established against the Browns, it is going to be a long damn day in Lucas Oil. We are only 2.5-point dogs. Granted, it is at home, so realistically, they're about 6-point favorites if it was at home. 39.5 over under. This is not a good spot where I want to be. 3-3 with Gardner Minshew coming off a bad week against the Browns, who just are coming off of a 49ers victory, where the Cleveland Browns defense is now being talked up to be one of the best defenses that we've seen in a while. Where I have to watch Myles Garrett probably bully anybody he wants to on my front line and sack Gardner Minshew. Shit, we might see Sam Ehlinger on Sunday. If you're a Colts fan, we might be in a long day. I hope not. I hope Gardner Minshew can come out and do what he did against the Ravens. Nothing special, nothing fancy, not forcing the ball, taking what the defense can give you, utilizing Zach Moss, JT, and which is slowly, methodically move the ball down the field, take the time off the clock, and then you play against PJ Walker. Then you're like, all right, PJ Walker, come on, show us what you got. We just put up 3. Oh, 3 now, let's go put up at least another 3 and make him answer. You got to make PJ Walker answer. Put pressure on the defense, make PJ Walker answer. Now, if it's Deshaun Watson, we're fucked. So that's my insight for the Colts. At least it's at home. I'll be in attendance, rooting them on per usual. But I can tell you one thing, it's not NFL Sunday because I'm not betting on the Colts. We'll move on to the next topic. Next topic is the men in suits. My question is to everybody watching, is the NFL scripted? My opinion, I never used to think so until the 4 o'clock games on Sunday. I'm watching the Eagles play the Jets. You can make the same argument for if you're a Jets fan and you're arguing. No Sauce Gardner. They were out, let's just say this, they were out 4 of their starting corners. You have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, DeAndre Swift, we'll put him there even though it doesn't really matter for the corner position, and Jalen Hurts. And you're going to put up 14 points. Jalen Hurts, who's barely ever turned the ball over, fumbling or throwing the pick. 3 interceptions. Jake Elliott, who never misses a field goal, feels like. This is a chip shot. But here's where it's like, the men in suits, they run this league. It's not based off who's the better team out there. They're the 32 men in suits, the billionaires, coming together, and they're scripting this shit. 2-minute warning has passed. You're the Philadelphia Eagles. It's 3rd and 9. You have Sirianni, who, at least when he was at Cole, he loved to run the ball. You have DeAndre Swift, who's been running the ball well. It doesn't matter if he's running the ball well or not. No timeouts for the Jets. 2 minutes, over. Next play, running clock. Why on God's green earth are we throwing the flipping ball? Your quarterback struggled. Let's just put it if it wasn't late in the game. Your quarterback's struggling. He's thrown 2 picks already. Not having a good game. Offense has been pretty bad. But you know what's worse? Is the Jets offense. They haven't moved the ball all day. Only putting up 12 points. Your defense has played great. And you want to throw the ball instead of running the ball. You hand the ball off to Swift in the backfield. Tell him to put 2 arms around the ball and just run and see what you can get. If you can get 9, 10 yards, great. If you can't, we're going to run at least 45 seconds off the flipping clock. Punt it away. So if you do the math, that's a minute 15 with the ball somewhere probably deep in their territory, in their own territory, with their backs against the wall. No timeouts. Zach Wilson at quarterback. But for some reason, we're throwing the ball 3rd and 9. Jalen Hurts panicking in the back of the pocket like he never does, because usually when he's panicking, tucking it, and he's running. He should have ran it anyways. If it's not Swift, it's Hurts running. Shit. Push it. Run it for a yard. Let the clock run. Punt it. And now you're probably thinking, oh, this sounds like a guy who bet on it. You're damn right I bet on it. I teased the Rams and the Eagles. Should have been a lock. I'm looking out there. I'm like, great, Jake Elliott missed it. Oh, we got the ball back. Which is 2-minute warning, 3rd and 9. This is game. And all of a sudden, Sirianni's throwing the ball. Say it was an incompletion. What are we looking at here? A minute 50 with no timeouts? That's more manageable to get a field goal. They're only down 2, Sirianni. Oh, I was heated. It's scripted. You heard it here, folks. Heard it here first, folks. It's scripted. You don't have to believe me. You can think I'm an idiot, but it's pretty suspicious. Now you could also make the argument real quick about, well, do you watch Staley, coach? Yeah, he's just a moron. They don't even insert him into the scripts. They do it for him. He does it for them all. we'll move on to the next topic. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. They lose yet again. Question is what do the Patriots need to do? I'll tell you what they need to do. They got one of three options. I said it last week, I'm pretty sure. They got one of three options. The options still stand today. You fire Bill Belichick, which is something that you would never hear in 1,000 years. You fire as a head coach. Option 2, you fire Bill Belichick as the general manager. Option 3, slide sneakily his resignation. Say, you have been a great coach, one of the greatest of all time. You've made this a dynasty. Go out on top. Don't let Mac Jones ruin your legacy. Now, what will probably happen if Kraft family is smart? They'll remove him from general manager duties. You're going to strictly coach. And I'd give him a 1-year leash for coaching. Maybe 2 at the most. And if he can't do it, then it's just time. He's surpassed his time as a great coach in the NFL. He's old school. But I think he needs less stress and less obligations off his plate for him just to focus on a game plan and coaching. Because he's a great coach. Great coach. I still think he's a good coach. I think he's got way too much. His teams have been dog shit since Brady left. I think Brady, you can kiss that thing out the window. Brady made that team. Bill Belichick and Brady made it together, but Tom made it work. I mean, what have we seen? Bill Belichick draft fucking Mac Jones? Mac Jones hasn't done shit. He's so bad. What they do to... I mean, I would have drafted a quarterback or went out and got somebody. Malik Cunningham? Bailey Zappi? What are we doing here? Mac Jones should have been on the shortest leash possible. I don't care if they had Joe Judge and Matt Patricia calling plays last year. It's still... his arm talent's not there. He's just... He does not pass the eye test. Get him out. But the Patriots, they need to figure out something with the coaching staff, with Bill, general manager Bill, and because as much as I love to see the Patriots suck, this is bad, and I feel bad. So something needs to change. First order of business, I would just relieve him of being a general manager and then go from there. Give him that short leash for a coach. If it doesn't work, throw him a fucking parade and then let him go. That's about it for that Bill Belichick. It's sad to see, to be honest. But we're gonna move on to next topic before we talk about week 7. Purdy, not so Purdy. Does Brock Purdy deserve the title of being elite? This is gonna be a controversial topic. My short and quick answer is no. No, he does not. What do you mean? He's whatever he is, something and one since taking over the starting job. Congrats. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Playing alongside probably their better defense than the Browns. It was just like, they're a better defense all around than the Browns, in my opinion. So he's playing alongside that. He's got one of probably the greater minds in football as a head coach. He's made a lot of different quarterbacks look great in that offense. He has Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. Deebo Samuel, the most diverse wide receiver in the league. He can do it all. George Kittle, top 5 tight end. His offensive line, top in the league. I mean, how is it hard not to succeed as a 49ers quarterback? Jimmy Garoppolo succeeded. Did he win a Super Bowl? No, but neither has Brock Purdy yet. He did go to a Super Bowl. Jimmy G did play well for Shanahan. Purdy's playing well for Shanahan. He makes his quarterbacks look good with the system that he provides. Now, this is not a Tom Brady scenario. This is Shanahan's offense. This is his system. This is the general manager doing a phenomenal job building a team. I cannot put him there yet. He might get there. Not right now. Elite quarterbacks right now go down, they march down. Did his kicker miss the field goal? Yes. But elite quarterbacks get the job done when things are hitting the fan. And all his numbers, yeah, he puts up consistently accurate numbers, but he's not. When I picture, that's like saying Jared Goff's elite. He's Jared Goff. Jared Goff is not elite. He's great. He's a great quarterback, system quarterback. He's a system quarterback. He is a system quarterback. Or, hey, Brock Purdy is Jared Goff, and will be Jared Goff for this foreseeable future. Now, Brock Purdy, can he get to elite status? Maybe. No one's saying he can't. No one's saying he sucks. He's not elite yet. So I'm tired of seeing Brock Purdy's the best quarterback. He should win MVP. No. Not going to win MVP. I'm sorry. Not sorry. He's not. But that's all I wanted to say about Brock Purdy. They did lose the Browns. Did Moody miss the field goal? Yes. Did he lead his team down to get into field goal range to win? Yes. But when you're playing PJ Walker, those points shouldn't even mattered. And I'm not even blaming the defense, because defense only gave up, I don't know how many points off the top of my head. I'm not looking at it right now, but they didn't give up enough points to be like, you gave up a little less points, we win those games. Most team wins those games. Most team wins the games with elite quarterbacks. They win those games no matter what, with that little points put up against PJ Walker. Now here's the next thing. But Brock Purdy didn't have Christian McCaffrey at the end. He got hurt with an oblique injury. Oh man, Deebo Samuel left with a shoulder injury. Oh man, Trent Williams ankle injury. List the great quarterbacks and list all the weapons they have. I don't even think they're close to that. Tom Brady did it with white boys. Mediocre talent. Patrick Mahomes, he's 5-1, putting up numbers still. He's elite, and look at his weapons. Pacheco, not Christian McCaffrey. Travis Kelce, yes. He doesn't have a Deebo Samuel. He doesn't have a Brandon Ayuk. He doesn't have, his defense is good, but he doesn't have that defense. Those are elite. So until Brock Purdy shows me a little bit more, he's gonna stay in the good category. Because I think Jared Goff would succeed a lot. His stats would probably be better in that offense than Brock's. Just saying. But enough of the Brock Purdy wagon. We're going to move on to the players of the week here. Let's see. Players of the week. At quarterback, what do you know? Jared Goff. Jared Goff had a great game. Of course, naturally, the stats are not pulling up for Jared Goff. A little unprepared for this quarterback here, but I mean, he threw for, I believe, 3 touchdowns, 265 yards, and went out and took care of business. Moving on, Raheem Mostert at running back, 115 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Adam Thielen, 11 receptions, 115 yards, and a receiving touchdown. It was time to give Adam Thielen his flowers. He's the bright spot of that offense. His team's piss poor. He continues to show out and perform. So I'm going to give him the nod. Because you could have put Tyreek Hill in there. You could have put A.J. Brown. I'm going to put Adam Thielen. I'm just so he can, hey, we notice you. Tight end Travis Kelce back to dominant form. Put up 9 catches, 124 yards. The offensive line, we're going to do the Miami Dolphins. Raheem Mostert had a day. Tua was not sacked, which is a great thing coming from the offensive line. That was the biggest worry for Tua. So keeping him on his feet, you deserve a gold star. We'll swap over to the defensive side. We'll start off with linebacker Jordan Hicks. 5 tackles, an interception, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown. Lua Khan for the Jaguars, annoying. He annoyed the shit out of me this weekend. 10 tackles, 15 total. Moving on to the corners, Kendall Fuller, 9 tackles and an interception. Others alongside the other side of him will be Taron Johnson for the Bills. He had a good game, mostly just tackles. Safety, Cameron Curl, 8 tackles, 11 total tackles. Not a lot of interceptions for me. I usually do. I do a lot of interceptions, who scored, who caused turnovers, but for the safeties, he just made a lot of plays in the open field, making good tackles. So Cameron Curl to round it off. That will be the players of the week for week 6. No, it will not. I forgot the Baltimore defense. Only allowed 16 points, 6 sacks for the defensive line. I like to look at sacks and see who's causing havoc for the opposing quarterback. And we saw Ryan Tannehill. He felt the pressure. But we'll move on from that, and we will move on to week 7. Let's decide on who's going to win and lose throughout the week 7 slate. This is not over-unders. This is not spread. This is as if we were looking at pure money line. Thursday night game between Jacksonville and New Orleans. Sorry, Corbin. I'm going to take Jacksonville. They showed me enough on Sunday they're going to get the job done. Moving to Sunday, Las Vegas, Chicago. Probably no Jimmy G, Aiden O'Connell versus backup for Chicago. You tell me, I don't care. We could flip a coin here with Siri and we'll decide. But we'll just say for the sake of this, we're going to go Las Vegas. Cleveland at Indianapolis. Cleveland. Buffalo at New England. Buffalo. Washington at the Giants. Dear God. Should be Washington, but it should have been Washington against Chicago, but it's Washington this week. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. I'm going to take Tampa Bay and Baker. Detroit at Baltimore. Great game. This will be a great game. Another good test for the Lions. I'm going to take Detroit. Hot hand. They shouldn't be scared of the Ravens. Contain Lamar. You should come out victorious as long as you put up points. Pittsburgh at the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. Fuck Matt Canada. Arizona at Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle. Going to be probably, if I had to choose a spread, I'd take Arizona spread. Green Bay at Denver. I'm gonna take Jordan Love. Bounce back for Jordan Love. Chargers at Kansas City. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think their offense is a little bit more explosive. I've been explaining my concerns for Kansas City and their lack of explosiveness on the offense. This game could end, if I had to choose another thing, it'd be the under. Surprisingly, it would be the under. Miami at Philadelphia. I'm going to go with Philly. It probably won't be Philly, but it's going to be Philly for me. Their defense might be able to slow down the Miami Dolphins. So for that reason, and Philadelphia has a good offense, I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I think they're going to be pissed off coming into this week, and that's going to be scary. Monday, San Fran, Minnesota, not even a question. 49ers back in the win column. So that's the Week 7 pick'ems. We'll move on to the players to watch. First player I have is Baker Mayfield. Bounce back game after a brutal loss. Now has a chance to get back in the win column against a divisional opponent. New Orleans has a tough matchup this week, so very important for Baker and the Buccaneers to be able to get this win. So he needs to be able to bounce back. So that's who I'm watching for the first player. Second player is probably the fourth time I've talked about him today, Jared Goff, coming off yet another good performance against the Bucs. Now gets to face yet another tough opponent in the Ravens. This will be important to see how Goff plays with possibly not having his RB1 and 2 alongside him. So interesting to see because he thrives on play action. Geno Smith will be my third. Needs a big-time win in what is supposed to be a tanking team, but they have given opposing quarterbacks and opposing teams a lot of fits. I thought it seems like teams hate to play the Cardinals right now. Geno has to get this win to compete with San Francisco in the division. So they need this win. I'm looking for Geno to have, I'm going to say Gino's going to come out and have a 300-yard performance, at least 2 touchdowns. Unless they just bully him with the run game and he's not going to get his yards. We saw him beat the Giants with 100 yards. So, last player, Jordan Love, with a couple iffy performances from Love after a bye week. I expected him to expect to see him and the Packers get rolling against an underperforming Broncos defense. It's important to get Jordan Love going early in this game. Take advantage of that underperforming defense that the Broncos have showcased us and get out at the gates hot and get some points. Get him feeling good about himself. But those are my players to watch going into Week 7. My last thing about Week 7 is the game of the week. I have the Dolphins-Eagles being our game of the week. The game is being held in Philadelphia. Eagles open up at 1-point favorites, and the over-under is 52. I already said in my pick'ems, I'm going to take the Eagles. Spread's a little low to take a spread because that game does worry me. If they can't slow down the Dolphins, I don't think they have a chance. If they can't slow down Tyreek Hill in that run game, they have no chance. I would take the over, though. I do think that offense is going to come out firing for the Eagles. The Dolphins are always going to try to go out there and fire. So I like the over in that game of 52, roughly 26 points per team. But Jalen Hurts has to not do that again. That's the game of the week, and I think that's going to do it for this episode. Cutting it short segment, which was the gambling segment that we usually do, talking about our favorite couple plays and stuff like that. But like I said in the beginning of the video, we're going to wait to do that on Friday, post another little episode for that, and that will be with me and Corbin together. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed some of my rants. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help, especially leave some comments on what I can do to make these better for you guys. So until next time, see ya.